स्वयं रूपं वंदेहम श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीबुधं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिघ्नसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। So Hare Krishna, I would like to welcome every one of you for today's session. Today is actually the 12th session. So we extended this course for more 2 days because we wanted to discuss Madhvacharya's teachings also in detail. So we dedicated 2 sessions, not 2 sessions, 3 to 4 sessions, I think, for explaining Madhvacharya's philosophy. And today also we'll be covering some of this because we covered only 6 pramayas. Totally, there are 9 pramayas. So we covered only 6 pramayas, 5 or 6 pramayas. So we'll be covering today the leftover pramayas, and we will also discuss our Gaudiya Vaishnavism, its philosophy of Achintya Bheda. That's perfect. Yes. So in the last class, we discussed about the other pramayas of Madhvacharya regarding the position of Lakshmi Devi and regarding the creation and destruction. Okay. Yes. So in today's class, we will discuss the Siddhanta regarding the Jivas. So regarding the Jivas and his Siddhanta regarding the nature and qualifications of the Jivas. Then Madhva Siddhanta regarding Mukti or liberation. And fourth is pure devotional service is the means to attain liberation. The 3 kinds of evidences. And also Hare Krishna. Achintya Bheda Tattva philosophy. Okay. So these things will be discussed in today's class. So before we get into the Siddhanta regarding the Jivas, we need to know some basic classifications. So there are actually 2 kinds of truth. What are they? So first, the 2 kinds of truth are independent. One is independent truth and another is dependent truth. Okay. So the independent truth is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, in order to prove his existence, or in order to prove his existence or to exist, he does not need anyone's help. Okay. He is an independent truth. But the energies, they are dependent on the Lord. The energies cannot exist without the help of energetic. If there is no person who is the controller, then the energies cannot work. Okay. So that's why his energies, they are called dependent truth. And in the dependent truth, there are some divisions. There are further classifications. So in dependent truth, there are 2 classifications: bhava and abhava. Okay, bhava and abhava. So bhava is also of 2 kinds: consciousness and dead matter. So consciousness is spirit, okay, Chaitanya Vastu, and dead matter is Jada Chaitanya, devoid of any knowledge. Okay. So that is Jada Prakriti. So these 2 things also exist. They are existing. That's why they are coming into the category of bhava, or something which exists. Then in the category of abhava, there are 4 kinds of abhava. Abhava means something which is non-existence. Okay. Bhava means existence and abhava means non-existence. So there are 4 kinds of non-existence: praga bhava, pradhamsa bhava, atyanta bhava, and anyonya bhava. So this is what is depicted through the this flow chart. Okay. So let's see. or you could also take some screenshot. The independent truth is Supreme Lord Vishnu, then dependent truth has two divisions, Bhava and Abhava. In Bhava, again, there are two classifications, consciousness, dead matter. And then in consciousness, there are again three classifications, Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. And in dead matter, there are so many varieties. Okay. And in dependent truth, the another Abhava, Pragabhava, Pradhamsa Bhava, Atyanta Bhava, and Anyonya Bhava. We will be discussing about all these things. Oh, yes. So this is the Abhava is of four kinds. So first of all, we'll discuss about that. What are the Abhavas? So first of all, there is Pragabhava. Pragabhava is that we are telling that tomorrow we will make a pot. Okay, there is clay, and we are telling in future tense that tomorrow we will make a pot. So Prag Abhava means that thing, the pot the clay in the form of a pot has not come into existence, and that's why the existence is there, non-existence is there uh, uh, before the existence of that thing. So until now, the pot is not clear. That's why there is non-existence of that pot. So that's why this type of non-existence is called Prag Abhava. Prag means before, and Abhava means non-existence. So before the existence of that pot, there is non-existence of something. Okay. Because before that, like for example, in future also we are going to create something. Tomorrow we are going to create something. So now that is non-existent. So it's like that. Tomorrow we will make some food. Okay. Tomorrow we are trying to make some, let's say, idli sambar. So idli sambar tomorrow we are going to make. But until now, the shapes of idli and the ingredients for the sambar and that preparation is not yet ready. So we are talking in future tense. And until now, the idli and they are in non-existence. Then second category of non-existence is the pot has been destroyed. Pradhamsa bhava. Okay. So when the pot, when you call something as pot, when that clay is in that type of pot, in that circular form. So then only we call it as a pot. But when that pot form is destroyed and it's crushed, pradhamsa. Pradhamsa means destroyed or made into powder. Then we cannot call that it as pot. So it is only clay. So this is called pradhamsa, non-existence in the form of destruction. When there is the pot has been destroyed. Third category of non-existence is that which has no existence in the present, past, or future. So, for example, like yesterday also we were telling example like sky, flowers in the sky. So flowers cannot exist in the sky. Never they can exist. It's just fictional. Okay. If it is below that there's nothing, it cannot exist. So that's why it cannot, it has not existed in past and it is not existing in present and it will not exist in future. So that flowers in the sky, they have no existence at all. And it will never happen in any point of time. So that is called Atyanta Abhava. Okay. Atyanta Abhava. Atyanta means like utmost or something which cannot exist at all. That is called Atyanta. Then what is Anyonya Bhava? Anyonya Bhava is the fourth category of non-existence. That is, for example, a table is not a chair. Okay. For example, there is a, and we cannot imply the chair, the form of chair or the qualities of chair in the table. That means a table does not remain as a chair. So there is something, there are two things, there are table and chair. Okay. And when there is a table, so you cannot imply the object of chair into the table object. Okay. You cannot tell that there is something which is in the form of table and you tell it as chair. that is not existing there. Similarly, the non-existence of a table in a chair and the non-existence of a chair in a table. Okay, anyonya, mutual non-existence. Anyonya means mutual non-existence. So the chair, when there is a chair, so table, we cannot imply or we cannot impose that object because that object is not existing, but the table is existing, chair is not existing. Similarly, when chair is existing, we cannot tell that, okay, table is there. The table is that object, we cannot call it as table when there is a chair. So mutual non-existence as a relation of the identity, tadatmya, as its counter correlate. So usually this type of non-existence. So mutual non-existence as the relation of identity as its counter correlate. Usually this type of non-existence is made when there is a relationship between two things. Because whenever we actually like sit for study or doing some other stuff, then definitely when there is a chair, then we will also use a table to keep support. And mainly we have to understand that the non-existence which we are trying to explain, that is that the chair which is there, so the form of the chair, we cannot impose the object of table in the chair. And similarly, the form of chair in the table. So I hope you would have got some idea about how this Anyonya Bhava is. Even in other forms of philosophy, so in other like even in some other philosophies, they explain this Anyonya Bhava in many different ways. Sometimes they have this type of conception that this mutual non-existence can happen only in the relation of identity, which is not as its counter correlate, which is not actually. So there could be some different things, completely, not tadatmya, but completely some different, which are not at all, we cannot relate. So there are also differences in this Anyonya Bhava. Then next is about the categories of jivas. Okay. So we discussed the abhava concept, the 4 types of abhava. Now we will be discussing about bhava or consciousness. So in consciousness, there are 3 categories. There are sattvika jivas, rajasika jivas, and tamasika jivas. So those who are situated in Sattva Guna, they are demigods. Okay, primarily they are situated in Sattva Guna. And human beings, they are more or less in the Rajasika or Rajoguna is prominent. And in demons, Tamoguna is prominent. Okay, that's why the names are being given accordingly. It's not that human beings, they cannot come in Sattva or Tamoguna. They can come, but prominently they are in Rajoguna, and which is also mixed by other gunas. That's why they stay in this material. Then what are the destinations for those living in ignorance? So those who are in goodness, they are eligible for liberation. Okay, and in passion, they are fit to live in the cycle of birth and death. And in ignorance, they are to remain in darkness. So here again, those who are in goodness, they are eligible for liberation. It is told in a sense. Definitely, a person has to perform bhakti. It is not that just to situate in goodness you will get liberation, but to be situated in goodness, it becomes a platform. Okay, it becomes a platform for us to easily perform bhakti. That's why even in our Krishna consciousness, we very much impose on cleanliness and keeping everything very clean, so that it becomes very much easy and becomes very favorable for us to perform all the devotional actions. Now, here the forms of the Sattvika Jivas, what are they made up of usually? So the forms of Sattvika Jivas are full of knowledge and bliss. Okay. So here we have to understand, because the guna or the qualifications or the the qualities of Sattva Guna is that a person is situated in knowledge and bliss. So in that way, he experiences knowledge and bliss, and also the demigods who are there. So they also have different types of bodies, which are so in our body, only five elements, they are very much prominent. My internet connection is stable. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. My internet connection is stable.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Yes. Then Rajasic Jivas. So their forms, it's a mixture of knowledge and ignorance, as well as happiness and distress. In Tamasika Jiva, they are full of ignorance and okay. So these are the forms and the experience. So these are the forms and the experience, the results of different modes of
But we can hear some
and
background. Somebody's talking from the background.
oh, okay. Okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Yes, it was something Madhvacharya he explained regarding the classifications of the different groups which exist in the world. Okay. Now we will be discussing about the nature and qualifications of the living entities. So Madhvacharya, he writes in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, chapter 22, text 84 to 86. Nature and qualifications are eternally present in all living entities, and they are the primary causes of their endeavors. Although karma is perishable, the flow of karma has been continuing since time immemorial. And beginning previous karma is the second cause of all the endeavors. And the endeavors is the third cause. By employing these three causes, Supreme Lord awards favors. So these are three
Prabhu,
causes.
your
First,
voice is breaking, Prabhu. I can't hear you clearly. I don't know about the others, but your voice is breaking, and we still have the background sound also in between. So it's like very confusing.
Prabhu.
Yes, I will just please give me 5 minutes. I will just go to some other place.
Okay.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Now it is audible properly.
Yes, Prabhu, very clear. Thank you.
So, I was talking regarding the nature and qualifications of the living entities. Sri Madhvacharya, he writes in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya regarding the three causes of endeavors. So, endeavors means whatever kriyas we are doing, whatever activities we are performing in this material world. So to perform those activities, three causes are there, and because of those three causes only, ultimately Supreme Lord is awarding the respective destinations to the jivas. Okay. So first of all, Madhvacharya, he writes that based on the nature and the qualifications which is intrinsic, okay, which so every nature which is there in the living entity, which is intrinsic, and Madhvacharya tells that it is eternally present in all living entities. So that becomes first of all the primary cause, and then the karma, which we are already doing since time immemorial, that becomes the second cause to perform the endeavors of all our endeavors. And the third cause, it also becomes the cause for the endeavors. Okay, so in third cause, the third, like the immediate cause, the immediate endeavors which we do, it becomes also the third cause. So in that, mainly the bhakti, which actually just burns away all our previous karma. So that he is also talking about, and also the endeavors which we are performing more karmas for future births. So that is also included in the third cause. So these are the three causes, and accordingly, the Supreme Lord awards the jivas respective destinations. Then there is a Purapakshi. He asks that when there are unlimited living entities within the abdomen of Supreme Lord, then why have only a handful of us has been created? Why haven't the others been created? So it is not that all the living entities who are there in the abdomen of the Supreme Lord, they all are actually created, because their karmas of those living entities who have performed, their karmas are not yet fructified, and they are not yet qualified to enter into this creation because their karmas are not fructified, and that's why they cannot get the material bodies at the present moment. When their karmas will become fructified, then eventually they will be getting the forms and names accordingly, and they will be coming into this material. Then answer Madhvacharya gives that only those jivas that are eligible for entering the next creation as a result of their previous karma are places within this creation. So they are placed within the creation. And what happens that when the jiva, after the dissolution of the universe, all the living entities, they go into the abdomen of the Supreme Lord. And there the jivas, they are situated in a karma deha. Okay, in a karma there is a special body which is given to them, and which is like the all the karmas which are there, so that is another covering on their own spiritual bodies. Okay, atma, and that is another covering, that is karma deha, which is being given to those living entities. Okay, and the living entities have their original spiritual bodies, and these are covered by the subtle body and then the karma deha. Okay, so thus all conditioned living entities possess three kinds of bodies. What are those? First of all, spiritual body, subtle body, and gross body. Spiritual body is their swarupa. Then subtle body is there. Okay, the subtle body, which is there, which is of mind, intelligence, and ego, and then the gross body. Now, there are two types of gross bodies which is being told here. So, because the gross bodies which we are able to see presently, which is created by five elements, that is also called karma. It is also a result of our past karmic reactions only. But the difference between presently visible gross body, karma deha, and the karma deha of the jivas within the Lord's abdomen is that the karma deha within the Lord's abdomen is extremely subtle, and the prior one, the visible gross body which we are seeing, that is very gross. Okay, that is extremely subtle, and that is different from the karma deha which we are presently having. Okay. So this is what Madhvacharya explains. Then what happens when the living entity's gross body is destroyed? So he moves to the heaven or hell. Okay. After the dissolution of the universe, they go to the Lord's abdomen and they have karma deha that is different from this present body. And again, when a person's gross body is destroyed, okay, after one meets death, so he either moves to heaven or hell according to his karma with the help of subtle body. Okay, with the help of subtle body, because when the this material body at the time of death, this material body is okay, we leave here, and the soul is covered by the subtle body, and then he travels to the different planets according to his karma, and in the course of his transfer from one body to another, he gets temporary bodies called yatana deha to enjoy his destined happiness or distress. Okay, so Yatna Deha that is being like given to him. If he has to go to heaven, so he is also given Yatna Deha. Okay, Yatna can also mean like something you experience, and it could be happiness there in heaven, or in hell you could experience distress. So that is different body which is given different from the Karma Deha. So this Deha is called Yatna Deha. Then liberation. So, what is the viewpoint of liberation according to Madhvacharya? Until one subtle body is dismantled, one cannot revive his Swarupa. That is very much, it aligns with our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy also. Unless and until our subtle body and gross body, they are destroyed completely, and the soul is completely free by performing the bhakti. Until then, he cannot revive his own Swarupa or the original spiritual body. And just to help the Jivas, Lord sends Jivas into the creation. And the Jivas are freed from the subtle bodies at the end of each kalpa of Brahma by worshipping Guru or Shastra Jnana and Bhakti. So each kalpa of Brahma, what is that? Each kalpa means one day of Brahma. Okay? And one day of Brahma, what happens? That in one day of Brahma, there are 14 manus. 14 manus come, and each manu's lifespan is consists of 71 chaturyugas. So in that way, 71 into 14, if we multiply, then it becomes around 996, and almost become 1000 chaturyugas. So this is one kalpa or one day of Brahma. Then what happens? The jivas, they are freed from their subtle bodies at the end of each kalpa of Brahma by worshipping Guru and Shastra Jnana and Bhakti. So in that way, it is stated by Madhvacharya that they actually sometimes there are some like descriptions which is being given that by the jivas who they are worshipping Guru and they are performing bhakti. So what happens? They are freed from the subtle bodies, but they actually get liberation later. That's what he is trying to explain. So at the time of dissolution, all living entities approach Brahma and then ascend to the abode of Vishnu along with him. Okay, so he is explaining that when dissolution happens, so all living entities approach Brahma and they go to Vaikuntha. So here dissolution, it happens when there is the end of life of Brahma. And the all living entities, they attain Vaikuntha along with Brahma. Even according to Brahma Sutra Bhashya, chapter 4, section 4, Sutra 19, some people attain the state of liberation in this world by worshipping the Supreme Lord with bhakti. They never fall down again. And some attain the state of liberation in Svargaloka, some in Maharloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka. So, Madhvacharya explains that even the liberated living entities, those who are worshipping the Lord with bhakti, so according to the orders of Hari, they go to the Maharloka, Tapaloka, and Janaloka, the different planet system within this material world, and they are worshipping there. They are worshipping their presiding deities in those lokas, but still they are liberated. Okay, and they get different, specific body. They are Mukta Deha. They get, but they are here only. Then the question comes that what happens if then there is a dissolution of the universe? What happens? So where do they go? So after when the dissolution happens at the end of the life of Brahma, then they go to the Vaikuntha. Okay, and when they after the again creation happens, they again come back to Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and in that way they serve the Supreme Lord. So this is what is explained by Madhvacharya. And actually, there are many types of like there are many living entities, and living entities they get liberation in different ways. So some living entities they go to according to their own will. They are there in Maharloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, and some they go to the Vaikuntha directly. Okay, and they are serving there. So there are different actually places, destinations of the liberation. And those sometimes what happens, those who are highly advanced in understanding transcendental knowledge, they go to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And there, according to their advancement in spiritual knowledge, they gradually attain proximity to the Supreme Lord. Okay. And they attain four kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Saropya, and Sayujya. Only four kinds of liberation. Sashti they don't include because Sashti means they will have equal opulence like the Supreme Lord. So Madhvacharya does not accept that because Lord is only having that all the opulence, and we are his servants. So we cannot become the enjoyer of the opulences uh, of the Lord. You know, the Lord, whatever he's enjoying from the opulence. So this is there. But the other four kinds of liberation he accepts, and according to their advancement, so they gradually gain proximity to the Supreme. Then in his Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, it is stated that among the Satvika Jivas, four-headed Brahma is foremost. And below him is Saraswati, then demigods such as Garuda, then forefathers. Then among Tamasika Jivas, Kali is foremost. Then Kalanemi, then Jarasandha, and so on. So there are more Tamasika Jivas than Rajasika Jivas, and more Rajasika Jivas than Satvika Jivas. Beginning from ordinary living entity up to Brahma, each class progressively feels 100 times more happiness. Okay, so for example, there are ordinary living entities situated like they are there in this material world, and those who are those who are situated higher than us, like demigods or maybe some other living entities who are situated in higher planetary systems. So they progressively feel more 100 times happiness than the prior class. Then it is stated that four-headed Brahma, he attains Sayujya Mukti. Okay, it is stated that four-headed Brahma, he attains Sayujya Mukti. And here it is stated that his conception, Madhvacharya's conception of Sayujya Mukti is different. It is not that eventually we will merge in Brahman in that way. It is his conception is not like that, merge in his body, but rather like merge in the mainly the light or the Brahman. Then, but his conclusion is that Sayujya means to enter the body of Lord Vishnu. So how just as a ghost may enter a person's body, or a piece of iron can be placed into fire. So in that way, Sayujya Mukti happens. The living entity, when he enters the body of Lord Vishnu, his separate existence is intact. It is not that he will merge with the Supreme Lord. No. But he compares this Sayujya Mukti like a ghost. He may enter person's body, but ghost is also a different living entity. The different Atma is there. And person whose body is there, so he is also there. And similarly, like piece of iron we place into the fire, they both are distinct. They both are distinct. So when a ghost enters, he enjoys all the happiness created by that person. But he is not the actual doer of activities, and he can separate himself whenever he desires. In the same way, Brahma, he enters into that ideal form or Lord Vishnu's form by his own free will, and whenever he wants, he can separate himself. Okay, so this is called Sayujya Mukti. Then he explains some of the other liberated jivas. They attain of being an associate of the Supreme Lord. Some obtain the liberation of residing on same planet. There is difference of opinion in Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. So followers of Ramanujacharya, he explains that after liberation, everyone he gets four-armed form like in Vaikuntha. Whenever the jivas they go, so they Ramanujacharya tells that everyone will get four-armed form. But Madhvacharya, he explains that when a person gets Sarupya Mukti or same form like Lord, so here Sachidananda Vigraha is being stressed. Okay, the forms like the Lord. So here we have to understand that Sachidananda Vigraha, all the forms which are there, they will be in Sachidananda. And everyone has their own original spiritual form. So not only four-arm form, but some may have four-arm, some may have two-arm, some may be animals, some are birds and grass, and in that way, all the jivas, they are serving the Supreme Lord in different ways. So these muktas, by their free will, these all whoever they get liberated, so they can by their free will they can travel to different planets such as Vaikuntha or Anantasana, Svargaloka, Satyaloka, engaging in glorifying the Supreme Lord. So that given that uh, that that छूट क्या बोलते हैं उसको छूट मतलब that thing is given to them and to the all the living entities. So all the living entities can, those who are liberated, they can freely, they can travel to different planets. So that is being given. Then liberated souls that reside in this world after perfecting their sadhana reside on the planet called Santanika or portion of Janaloka until the end of Brahma's kalpa. And all the liberated jivas enter Vaikuntha along with four-headed Brahma at the end of his life. There they receive bodies that Satchidananda Vigraha and they are engaged in services. So some liberated souls, they reside after they perfected their sadhana. So they reside in Janaloka until the end of Brahma's kalpa. But they all the liberated jivas who are there, they enter Vaikuntha along with the four-headed Brahma at the end of his life. So this is being explained. Then when he's explaining about bhakti, so that is this eighth prameya. Yes, eighth prameya. So in that he's explaining that bhakti is actually of three kinds. What are those? Ordinary devotional service and devotional service that is awakened after one receives transcendental knowledge or supreme devotional service, and another one is constitutional devotional service. So these are the three kinds of bhakti. First one, ordinary devotional service, it refers to the devotional service awakened before the commencement of hearing of shastras from. So even when we develop Shraddha, okay, even in our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami he explains about whole progressive stages of devotional service. So how there are stages in devotional service. So before when we start hearing from the from Guru, okay, we do Shravana, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Okay, we do Sadhu Sangha, we hear from the Guru and we associate with devotees. So before these things happen, we develop the whatever devotion service that is actually awakened, and that Shraddha which is actually developed later on by hearing from spiritual master. So before that, in order to get attracted to devotion service, in order to get that desire to perform devotion service, in that way, that type of ichha or that type of bhakti which we do, that is very ordinary devotion service. And that is actually called Adav in our terms in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which happens before Shraddha, which eventually we develop. So that Madhvacharya is considering to be ordinary devotion service and not to be like pure devotion service, but because he has that type of inquisitiveness and that type of piety in his heart, that's why he wants to hear and he wants to hear from the shastras from the Guru. So that type of bhakti which he has, very little desire to perform bhakti, that is called ordinary devotion service. That desire. Then devotional service that is awakened after one receives transcendental knowledge or has received darshan of Lord is called supreme devotional service. So eventually, when we hear from spiritual master, we associate with other devotees, and in that way, our anartha nivritti happens. We become eventually free from anarthas. Then devotional service is awakened eventually by getting transcendental knowledge from Guru. And in that way, by performing that, then we receive the darshana of Lord Himself. And that is called supreme devotion service. So, what happens by bhakti? One gets mercy, and by mercy of the Lord, we can attain liberation. Okay, thus he attains liberation. And this bhakti which he is performing, the supreme devotion service, the second type of bhakti, it should be again it should be free from karma and jnana. Okay, then only one can get mercy of the Lord and thus can attain liberation. And what is constitutional devotion service? Third type of bhakti. So after liberation, the devotee who performs the bhakti, okay, that bhakti is called constitutional devotion service. And Madhvacharya is explaining the progression of sadhana. So he tells in the beginning, one devotedly receives the knowledge of the glories from Supreme Lord, from saintly persons in Shastra with Shraddha. And gradually he comes to the stage of transcendental knowledge and then supreme devotion service, then liberation, then third type of bhakti or the constitutional devotional service. So after liberation, when he is serving the Supreme Lord in whatever rasa, like in Dasya rasa primarily, so that type of bhakti is called constitutional devotional service. So these are the three categories of bhaktis which happens to be in the sadhaka's life. Okay. Then there are three kinds of evidences. This is the ninth prameya. Yes, direct perception or pratyaksh pramana, hypothesis, anuman pramana, and the Vedas are the Shabda pramana. And there are subcategories of each one. Okay, so these are primarily the three categories of three kinds of evidence which is accepted. Pratyaksh pramana, in that around 7 senses are accepted. Mind, sense, mind, and then other jnanendriyas and other senses which are prone to be to do error. Okay. And then anumana, hypothesis, okay, based on some past experiences or some factual experiences, we are trying to do some anumana. Like for example, we are seeing there is some smoke on the mountain, and then by seeing that, we are actually anumana. We are doing anumana. That okay. Before also one time we saw that there was fire. When there was smoke, there was fire, and that's why that anumana we are doing that. Okay, now we have seen smoke, then that definitely there should be fire on the mountain. But this anumana could be wrong. After the fire is extinguished, the smoke also comes. So before, even when fire is there, then also smoke is coming. And after the fire is extinguished, then also smoke comes. So this is anumana, and our anumana can be defective. Then the third, the Vedas or Shabda Pramana, and there are subcategories of each one. So Shabda Pramana, it could be just a person who is there, who is situated on the mountain. He can just simply, tell, okay, what is the truth? Is there the fire is already burning or the fire is already extinguished? So he can tell the person who is situated there. So in that way, these are the three kinds of evidences, pramanas. Okay. Then he eventually goes on to explain about the because through yes, so he goes on to explain regarding the three classes of Puranas: Satvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. And he categorizes Srimad Bhagavatam is a Satvika Purana, and Tamasika Puranas are just to bewilder the demons. In Satvika Puranas, if any statement which opposes Sattva Guna should be understood as for bewildering demons. And any portion of Purana that supports Sattvika Puranas should be accepted as evidence. So there are three classes of Puranas, and Tamasika Puranas which are there, they are just to bewilder the demons. Okay, the demons, when they read these Puranas, they become very bewildered, and in that way, they perform other activities. And in Satvika Puranas, it is stated by Madhvacharya that if any statement in Satvika Puranas, we are able to see that it is opposing the mode of goodness, then it should be understood that this portion of Purana is actually meant for bewildering the demons. And again, if any portion of Purana, it could be Rajasic Purana or Tamasic Purana, if it is supporting the Satvika Puranas, then it should be accepted as the evidence. Okay. So this was all for the Madhva Siddhanta. Okay. Now we will talk about the reasons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes in Sri Mahaprabhu's teachings. He has written a booklet, and in that he writes that by accepting Srimad Bhagavatam as highest scripture and quoting the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya, it is established that Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya has also the same succession and is thus authentic. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered to be the highest scripture, and also he quoted in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted the disciplic succession, the Acharyas who happened to be there in the Madhva Sampradaya. And that's why he's trying to establish the relationship between the Madhva Sampradaya and Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And he's accepting that Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is authentic. So in that way, because Madhva Purana accepts that there are four Sampradayas. Okay, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is accepting Madhva Sampradaya. And in that way, he is actually preaching the philosophy. So that's why this is the one reason that's why our Sampradaya is authentic, because the same disciplic succession which is there in Madhva Sampradaya is there in our Sampradaya. Then even Kavi Karnapura, who has written Gaura Ganodyesh Deepika, where all the Swarupas of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are being stated. So in that book also he accepts the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya. Then Baladev Vidyabhushan, another great Acharya, he also, who happened to appear in 18th century AD, he's also accepting the disciplic succession of Madhva Sampradaya. So the reasons are that Madhvacharya accepted Satchidananda Vigraha form. Yes, as we saw in the just before we saw regarding in the Mukti section. So Madhvacharya is telling that when a person gets liberated, so he gets Satchidananda Vigraha, like the Supreme Lord, Sarupya. Okay. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered that it becomes the basis of the Achintya Veda Veda philosophy. Because Satchidananda Vigraha form in that way is trying to explain that there is Veda. Okay, it's not that the form which is there of the Supreme Lord and the living entity, it is merging with the Supreme Lord. It is not. But he is accepting that the Jiva is also possessing Satchidananda Vigraha form. And also the form which the Lord possesses and the Jiva possesses are same. Okay. That's why there is again Abheda in that sense. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he accepted the Madhvacharya's Sampradaya, because he also very much he gave emphasis on Dvaitavada. And Madhvacharya mainly propounded and emphasized Dvaitavada, duality, so that the bhakti of jivas towards the Lord may never be broken. Another reason he accepted. So this is another reason, because Madhvacharya he focused more and more. He did not give explanations more on Advaitavad or the Advaya Jnanam, which is also of course there between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord. He emphasized more on Dvaitavad. So in that way, this concept of Jivas as eternal servants of the Supreme Lord, and they have to perform the bhakti towards the Supreme Lord, this thing can never be broken. This conception can never be refuted, because Madhvacharya emphasized and he preached its Dvaitavad very much, okay, and very in profound way. So this was also one of the reason. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Madhva Sampradaya. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he accepted Achintya Bheda Tattva, okay, Bheda also and Abheda also. But Madhvacharya he emphasized mainly only on Bheda. So Vedas they discuss on the both aspects of the things. Okay, Bheda with the Supreme Lord and the Jivas, it's also accepted, and the some portions of Vedas they are also explaining the conception of Abhedatva between the Supreme Lord and the Jivas, explaining the qualities. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he explained both, but Madhvacharya, he explained only Bheda, which was also very much great help for, that's why he also accepted Madhva Sampradaya to explain the philosophy. And this conception is achintya actually. It's not so black and white. We cannot understand how this Bhedatva and Abhedatva, which is there with the Supreme Lord simultaneously. So that is not like it cannot be comprehensible with the tiny living entities brains. So it is actually achintya. Even in the category, in the conception of abheda, which we have, advaya jnana, which we have within in the Supreme Lord, with the Supreme Lord. So in that also there are many intricacies, and which we cannot actually comprehend. It's beyond our logic. Achintya khalo ye bhava natam stharki na yojayet. So it is stated in Mahabharata also that the things which are achintya, so through tarka, through logic and argument, we cannot explain those things. So we can get some general idea that how Abheda and Bheda is being established. But if you want to go into very much intricacies and how actually the Jiva's relationship is there with the Supreme Lord, that actually it is Achintya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that very well. Then also, one more thing, Vyasadeva, he wrote in Padma Sampradaya Vihna ye mantraste nishvala mata. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Madhvacharya Sampradaya to preach his Siddhanta. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not wanted to violate the teaching, any statements which are there in Shastras. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, he can do anything. But just to not create any disturbance in society and eventually not, there could be no any problem in our Gaudiya Vaishya Sampradaya. So he just simply accepted Madhva Sampradaya as the basis of his own Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So that the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya can also get that authenticity easily. So that's why he took it as a basis and he preached his Siddhanta. Also, one more thing, Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So if we just attribute him of the quality that he is just a propounder of an independent sampradaya, if we just attribute him that he is just a propounder of independent sampradaya, then actually through that we are actually subtly undermining his position. How? Because usually for propounding or for explaining the teachings and becoming the acharya of their sampradaya, usually Lord, he sends his representative. He sends his empowered acharya. Okay, he empowers an acharya and he sends that, and he establishes him as a the acharya of their sampradaya. So whatever Lord says, that is actually dharma. But in sampradaya, what happens? Originally, the ultimate in the disciplic succession of their sampradaya, the originator of that disciplic succession is the Lord himself. And whatever Lord is saying, that is dharma. Okay. And the acharya who becomes the in charge of that sampradaya, he just follows and he passes on all the instructions which are coming down in the disciplic succession. Okay. So that's why the whatever Lord says, that is dharma. Dharmam to sakshat bhagavad pranita. So because sampradaya, usually it means that you are following some disciplic succession and some siddhanta which could differ from others. Yes. While I was actually listing down all the 21 apasampradayas which was refuted by Madhvacharya. So Madhvacharya was not refuting whole of the siddhanta of Vishishtadvaitva, but he was refuting some of the statements which could be prone to be misunderstood by some people as only Advaitavada is being established by Ramanujacharya. Okay, so there should not be any confusion, or there should not be anything which could make the living entities, susceptible to come into the conclusion that, oh, there is Advaita Jnana only. So in that way, Madhvacharya, he refuted those statements, and he again and again he wanted to establish the Dvaita Siddhanta in very much more emphasis and explicit way. So sampradaya usually means that you are following some sampradaya, okay, and the different sampradayas, they have their own teachings, and some portion of the Vedas they accept, another portion of the Vedas they are not mainly emphasizing. So that's why there could be sometimes differences, and one acharya can sometimes refute another acharya statements. Only those portions, not whole of the Siddhanta, because all of them they are Vaishnava acharyas and they have their own missions to perform. And it's not that they are becoming a Vaishnava by not discussing about the other topic. It's just that they have their own mood and mission. They have mission to perform, and at that time, place, circumstance, they have to emphasize on that particular portion of the Vedas. Okay. So that's why the Supreme Lord is not just propounder of the independent sampradaya. He does not just become an acharya, because in sampradaya we have to follow. But the Lord Himself is he only creates the dharma. So that's why in that way, when we tell, so in that way, we will be undermining His position. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply, he just took it as a basis, and he himself did not become like an acharya, but he asked the Goswamis. He asked the Goswamis to write books and become the acharyas and that. But the Lord accepted Madhva Sampradaya. As said it previously, for not violating Padma Puran's reference. Okay, and then very much same, and he took it as a basis to give Krishna prema to fallen conditioned jivas. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a mission. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to give Krishna prema, which was not given by any of the sampradayas before, and that was one of the reasons to appear in this material world. So that is the actually speciality of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Yes, that was not given by any of the Sampradaya. And also all the activities of Acharyas, like writing books, commentaries, and he asked Goswamis to do. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told his Goswamis, his disciples, to write books. Okay, he asked them to do. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came just to enact pastimes, and along with that, he gave Krishna Upadesh or Krishna Prema to the lowest of living entities. Okay. Then this is the thing about these are some of the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually accepted Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, and he just preached. He just took Madhva Sampradaya as a basis, and he explained the philosophy of Achintya Vedavita. And through the Achintya Vedavita Tattva, what did he do? He actually reconciled all of the teachings which were propounded by all the Sampradaya Acharyas. And it is being Achintya Vedavita Tattva is called Sarva Vedanta Sara. Okay. All the conclusion of the conclusion of all the Vedas, that is the essence. Okay, and it is Achintya Vedavita Tattva. It is not just it's emphasizing on one portion of the Vedas and not emphasizing on another portion of the Vedas. It is not like that. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by explaining this philosophy, he reconciled all the portions of the Vedas and he gave the essence, okay, of all the Vedas through this philosophy. Now, this philosophy, this Vaishnava philosophy, is already actually there since the beginning of creation. So it was not maybe preached by that term which are being used sometimes, Dvaitavad or Vishishtadvaitavad, but it was preached in the beginning of creation to his son Atharva in Satyayuga. Okay, and also by Prahlad Maharaj and other personalities in Treta Yuga. Okay, sorry, there is some problem here. Prahlad Maharaj came in just Satyayuga. Okay, so Prahlad Maharaj and other personalities, they gave the teachings, they gave the Vaishnava teachings in Satyayuga. And in Treta Yuga, Surya Vamshi kings and Chandra Vamshi kings, so they appeared and they also preached. Okay, and similarly in Dwapar Yuga also. And then gradually Vyasadeva and our four sampradayas, they came in Kali Yuga. So actually, it is explained in the Shastras, and great Acharyas explain this concept. So how this philosophy is actually unveiling, it's unveiling gradually. In other yugas, what used to happen, the instructions which are given presently in these four sampradayas, they were imparted in a very concise form, in very concise form. because people were very intelligent that time. So they were given these instructions were given in, for example, Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Chatushloki Gita, Chatushloki in that. This is one of the example, and in that way, very concise form. Even if you see the Vedic statements, they are so concise, and that's why we need commentaries of different acharyas to understand these statements of the Vedas. Okay, so in Kali Yuga, this knowledge which is there, so that was preached in more elaborate way. And this is unveiling like a lotus. So lotus in its bird form was there in Satyyoga. Then in Treta Yuga, more like it was trying to the lotus unveiled a little bit more, and Dwapar Yuga more, and Kali Yuga, it just blossomed. The lotus blossomed fully with its petals, and we can easily we can understand the teachings of the four Sampradaya Acharyas, whatever they preached, and we can get the commentaries on the Vedic statements. So this analogy is being given by great acharyas to explain the the history of our Vaishnava philosophy. Then another question can come, that why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just did not preach Madhva Siddhanta? Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have just preached Vaitavada. So it's just a repetition. All the Siddhanta are either emphasizing on one portion of the Vedas, and it could be there that apparently it resulting in contradicting other portion of the Vedas. Yes, if you just emphasize on Dvaitavada, then it could be, there are some other Vedic statements which are telling Advaya Jnana, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. So you are telling only Dvaitavada. How we have to understand that Advaya Jnana then? So apparently it could tell, okay, if we could try to maybe see, okay, that it is contradicted, but it is not. So to have philosophical concept which is accepted by all and is conclusion of all Vedic scriptures and not prone to fall in one portion of the Vedas and contradict with another, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Achintya Veda Tattva, and he reconciled all of the Vedic statements in this philosophy. So he accepted Veda also and Abheda also, and he told that this thing which is there between the Jivas and the living and the Supreme Lord, that is actually Achintya. Okay, it's not easily comprehensible. It's incomprehensible. Perfectly, fully we cannot comprehend. Okay, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write any separate commentary on Vedanta Sutra, but he boldly declared and accepted Srimad Bhagavatam to be ultimate Praman. And he preached Achintya Vedabhed Tattva while he traveled to South India, and thus all the Goswamis followed that and has explained this in detail in their books. So also one more thing I just missed to explain, to just put in that. Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, there was a king in Jaipur, Savai, is his name actually. Savai Madhav Singh, I don't know, maybe some other king in Jaipur, Rajasthan. So he commissioned Baladev Vidyabhushan to write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And that's why before there was a commentary on Vedanta Sutra in very concise form. That was Brahma Sutra Karika Bhashya. It was very concise. But eventually Baladev Vidyabhushan thought that, okay, it could be we can write in more elaborate form. And that's why that commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because people were actually, they were opposing this philosophy, that how come this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya which is there. So, but your philosophy, the teachings which are propounded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are not they are not completely aligning with Madhva's philosophy. So that's why your Sampradaya should be considered separate, and that's why you should have your own commentary on Vedanta. So just to satisfy and just to satisfy the needs of the people, and just for proving to the society that our Sampradaya is authentic, Baladev Vidyabhushan wrote a commentary on Vedanta Sutra called Govinda Bhashya. So Lord Govinda himself, he actually narrated, or he only gave all the instructions. He revealed the knowledge of how to write the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So Lord Govinda used to speak, and Baladev Vidyabhushan was writing the commentaries on Vedanta Sutra. That's why Baladev Vidyabhushan named that commentary as Govinda Bhashya. Okay, and then after that, there is it in Siddhanta Ratna. There is another commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So in that way, to just establish the authenticity of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Baladev Vidyabhushan was asked to write just to prove to the society. But there was no need because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that the Vedanta, Srimad Bhagavatam, to be the highest pramana and is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, written by Vyasadeva himself. So he considered Srimad Bhagavatam to be topmost Purana Pramana, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like he did not found it there is any need to establish his authenticity because Srimad Bhagavatam he considered to be ultimate Pramana, and whatever things which are there, so we can accept Srimad Bhagavatam as ultimate. Okay. So this was actually brief overview of Achintya Bheda Tattva. There is so much given actually, so many things are there. I have sent a file in a WhatsApp group. That file name is introduction. So there is a great, very good scholar. His name is Demain Martins, and his spiritual name is Baladev Prabhu. So he has done so much of research and he writes many books on the works of Baladev Vidyabhushan. He also goes to different places where Baladev Vidyabhushan's manuscripts are available. He goes to different libraries, and in that way he tries to do some more research and writes authentic, like things in his introduction in his book, and based on that he writes his own translation for those original verses. So Demain Martins, he has written a book on Prameya Ratnavali, which is again a book by Baladev Vidyabhushan. So Prameya Ratnavali, in that Prameya Ratnavali also, in that he has given the introduction, and in that introduction he has established the link between Madhva Sampradaya and Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. He has beautifully explained, and that introduction, it consists of 37 pages. So I actually it was so nice actually. Every point is so hitting, was so strong that okay, and it was so establishing that yeah, our Madhva Sampradaya and whatever Sampradaya we are following, that is authentic actually, completely authentic. There is no contradiction. The contradiction in a sense that there is no need of proving our Sampradaya as another Sampradaya or another fifth Sampradaya. But there is a link between Madhva Sampradaya and our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So he has also refuted many oppositions which has come from different devotees, different personalities. Yes. So if you have like desire, then you could go through it and read all that introduction in your spare time. Yes. And also some of the specialities of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which was not given in other Sampradayas, that he gave Unnatojvala Bhakti Rasa, the highest Krishna Prema, which was not given by any other Sampradayas. He mercifully bestowed Gopi Prema. Okay. He liberated the lowest jivas and awarded them with the highest Krishna Prema, and he awarded the destination, the highest destination, Golok Vrindavan, which never was told by any of the other Sampradayas, because only Vaikuntha, that is the highest goal, and that is considered to be Mukti. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the highest liberation to the lowest living entities like Jagai and Madhya. So these are some of the specialities of Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya, and we boldly declare that our Sampradaya is authentic and our Sampradaya's philosophy is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. And that's what we follow in ISKCON. That's what Srila Prabhupada he has written in his books. Okay, and this philosophy is a reconciliation of all the Sampradaya's philosophy. Okay, it's a reconciliation, and there is no contradiction. No, there could be no any philosophical like refutation problems with that philosophy. because it's not that that philosophy is only emphasizing on one portion of the Vedas and refuting another portion of the Vedas, but actually it is reconciling all the portion of the Vedas. Okay. And again, Achinta Vedabhe Tattva is another very big topic. In that also there are many intricacies. So it could take another session if we at all want to discuss that philosophy in detail. Yes. So this was all for today. If anyone has any questions, so they could ask. And also further readings. There are some further readings which you could refer. They are Introduction to Prameya Ratnavali. Okay, that is Introduction to Prameya Ratnavali, that is being given by Demain Martins, Baladev book, you could read. And also the Hindi version of the book, Life and Teachings of Four Vaisnava Acharyas, Char Acharyas or Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. So this is the book that is published by Gaudiya Publications. And actually there are many more books which are written. So that also you could refer for understanding the link between our Sampradaya. Yes, so this was all. And in that way, I would like to conclude the session and the whole course. So this was the last session. And we discussed mainly the four teachings, the four Sampradayas teachings, their life, the biographies and teachings. And I tried my best to explain according to my capability, and taking the help of the book, The Life and Teachings of Four Vaishnava Acharyas. So I really ask for forgiveness if from my mouth any ill words or anything slip of a tongue which has come through which someone would have heard. So I'm really sorry for that. If through my words any philosophical deviation has come, so please forgive me. And if anything which I have spoken, which is pleasing to your heart, or which is in the line of scripture, which is in the line of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, so that is all the blessings of my Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Yes. And at the last, I would just thank you to all the devotees who attended all these sessions and listened, and very they enthusiastically they participated in the classes. So in that way, I would like to conclude the class here. If anyone has any questions, so they could ask.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very, very much. Very nicely, you have uh, put up all the points, and also so much of endeavor you did to make these slides. Really, all glories to you. And this is the book, Prabhu, you were mentioning.
Regarding Baladev Prabhu.
Yeah, Prameya
Yes.
Ratnavali. Can you read? Can you see the book?
Book, the whole book you want, Mataji?
No, you see, I have the book. This
Oh,
is the book.
one second.
Uh,
Yes, Mataji, this is the book. And in that introduction, if we see, then he is actually explaining that link between Matva
yeah.
Sampradayan. And he's explaining about the notions. He's refuting Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, who was disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj.
Yeah.
Vidya Vinod, he has written so many things. He is telling that the statement of Padma Purana, Sampradayana Vihina ye mantrasti mata nishphala te nishphala. So that statement is actually interpolated. and Baladev Prabhu, Demain Martins is actually refuting that he did not have even basic knowledge of Sanskrit. He was actually differentiating between our Sampradaya and other Sampradayas, and he was establishing he was telling that the Sampradaya is not actually authentic, and he was differentiating Swasampradaya.
Yes. These books are very nice. We also have this other one, which is the Vishnu Sahasranama.
Vishnu Sahasranama, yes. That was also
Which it's very beautifully done, no? Very nice.
yes. And all his books actually are published usually by Bhakti Vikas Trust. So
Yeah,
his
yeah, I know.
Bhakti Vikas Swami, he very much he encourages him to
Yeah,
write
yeah.
books
It's
and
written
publish.
here. I've seen.
Yeah, Bhakti Vikas Trust. Even this name Mataji, Baladev Prabhu, is
Yeah.
because he is doing research on the works of Baladev Vidyabhushan. So Bhakti
Okay.
Vikas Maharaj, he has not taken initiation, but he has
Oh,
after he has got Indian citizenship. So Prabhuji
oh,
Maharaj has given the name Baladev Prabhu.
okay.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. And so much of your hard work we can see through the slides which you have made. Very nice slides.
Yeah. To
And
this, yes.
thank you very much, Prabhu. Very, very informative. I know it's tough to digest within one session like
Yeah,
this.
Mataji. I read actually so much. I have to read so much, and then I to see okay according to time how which what points will be like most
Yeah, which one will be?
appropriate.
Yeah, we have to appropriate and take that. Yeah,
So
I know
that is
you
another
have worked very hard,
good
Prabhu.
time.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. All glories to you. Hare
Just
Krishna.
through this one more benefit happened for me actually. Through this, well, I was just thinking that I can read this book, this Gaudiya, this book, Life and Teachings of Guru Vaishnava Acharyas. So I was reading, then I thought, okay, if I just read and if I don't explain to the devotees, so then this knowledge will be just with me and eventually I'll forget. But if I explain to other devotees,
Yes,
there is Nididhyasanam, then devotees ask questions, then I have desire to do more research, then I gain more knowledge so that in future, even nowadays, Mataji, even there are some devotees here in ISKCON temple where I'm living.
yes,
And they asked me, Prabhuji, can you explain this Madhva Siddhanta? Then immediately I explained, Prabhu, this is like this. So in that way, there are five distinction, nine pramayas, and these are the books you can refer. And immediately I have all the things. So they are shocked, Prabhu, how do you know such stuff? So I because I am reading books and I am teaching, so it is really very much helpful. First of all, it is very much helpful for me.
yes, for preaching. Yes, very good. Very good.
Even
Thank you very
while
much.
even I'm planning after I study Vishishtadvait Vedanta also while I will be studying Vishishtadvait or even other Vedanta, then I would just not launch it as a course, but maybe I can just upload some videos on YouTube so that those whoever wants to listen the Siddhanta preached by Ramanujacharya
Yeah.
and reconciliation with other sampradayas, so they could also be benefited. And according to my uh, like understanding, I can just teach.
Yes, Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your hard work. And yeah, so it's very your enthusiasm is very catching. So we can also get enthused and we can study. Otherwise, just like that, it's very difficult to study. If somebody is explaining, it's very easy.
Yeah, Mataji. I was just sometime at some point of time I was just disappointed that very less devotees are coming. Like
No,
eventually
because I think not many are
interested.
aware of this course.
Uh,
Maybe it should be more
Advertised.
advertised.
Also, mainly only 30 devotees are there in the group, and in the first class, I saw 12 students were there. Eventually, the numbers declined. Eventually, it became to six, no, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, like that. I
Yeah.
don't know that maybe the devotees, first of all, I think because Mataji, one thing I just thought that the devotees, first of all, they are not actually well conversant. Like
Yes.
don't know even the basics sometimes of our
Correct.
also. How many devotees have properly read Prabhupada's books properly and how much they know. And we are trying to
Yeah.
understand other teachings, Madhvacharya's
Correct.
teachings and Ramanujacharya. They
Yeah.
are
So
far
this one is not. This one is for not
everybody,
regular devotees. This is for the devotees who have been in the movement for at least
many
two
years.
decades. Then you can teach. Otherwise, for newcomers, it's very difficult. So
yeah, to grasp.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's why if 3-4 devotees also they were there, so it was okay, chalo, at least 3-4 devotees they are there, they are ready to listen, so I will enthusiastically prepare and give my fullest
Yeah. But you
effort.
can do this course once again if
One second.
no, I mean if there are some like not advanced devotees, but like who were there in the movement for some time and they know they have read many books. So for such people, you can do. If I can ask some of the groups I am in,
Yeah,
we can
Mataji.
do.
Because what is the thing? I was one problem which I faced is that each philosophy, if we want to like go into very much detail, for example, Madhva's philosophy or Ramanuja's philosophy or other, then each philosophy is also having many intricacies,
Mm,
and sometimes we don't even get clarification unless and until even in the sampradaya, within the sampradaya of Vishisht Ramanujacharya, there are different matas, different opinions are there. So they
mm,
explain mukti in different way, another sect explains mukti in different way, and in that
mm,
way it gets more complicated, in more there are more intricacies. Similarly, in other sampradayas also, even Pushti Marga system, I was thinking to explain Vallabha Sampradaya more in detail. I had so much actually information regarding that. But because
mm,
of time constraints, so I was just trying to make it more concise. So
mm.
one more biggest difficulty is that whatever we give, sometimes people get bored, I felt, because we only discuss maybe the outline or overview only we take very fast. We give information, there are two sects and these are like that, these are like that. Done. Khatam, khatam. But we get into very much details. Like for example, today I was explaining Mukti, Madhvacharya's explanation regarding Mukti. And in Mukti only, Mataji, so many different things are happening. Even
Yeah,
devotees, how much devotees actually understood. But I understood what actually was happening. That at the end of the each kalpa of Brahma, the living entities they are there, and they actually wait until the dissolution of the whole universe.
yeah,
Then at the end of Brahma's life, then they will go to Vaikuntha, like
yeah,
that. So it's so much complicated actually. Even mukti concept is actually so much complicated. It's not just okay after you perform bhakti,
yeah,
you will go to no. Even in liberation, after you perfect your sadhana, you will attain. You can also go to Janaloka, Tapaloka, and higher planetary systems, and you can stay there, and you can serve them.
yeah. Very amazing.
So
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think it's getting late for you also.
yeah, yes, Mataji.
I know my this timing is not suitable for me actually because I'm in
Oh,
Singapore. So now it's like 11:40 almost. So
11:40 p.m.
yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, but I was very happy to attend your classes. So I just keeping myself awake because nighttime sometimes you become very sleepy, you know.
very.
But thank you, Prabhu. Please upload your the classes
Recordings.
or we can recording so that I can hear again.
Yeah, Mataji, sure.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripas.
Vanchakal Sudabrishya Kipasya Chikitanam Pan.
I think Govind Madhav also left very early because it was too late for him. Also.
Because today is a bit late, no? That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
think.
And in between also 5 minutes I took for
Yeah, to adjust the thing.
yes. Actually, I have come to new temple. Mother. I was there in Vrindavan before. I was staying in Vrindavan in BGIS. Now I have
Oh,
come here in Tirupati just 15-20 days before to study
okay.
Vedanta, Madhva
Okay,
Vishishta
okay.
Vedanta.
You're very
So
fortunate, Prabhu. You are able to do this in such a young age.
there's
Very
my
nice. Very
blessings,
fortunate.
Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, I told Maharaj that Maharaj asked me that what is your future plans. And I told
Mm.
Maharaj I just want to go into mainly like I want to serve in Prabhupada mission in mainly in philosophical way. and
Hmm.
teaching, explaining things. So Maharaj was happy, and he told that, oh, you can go to that Tirupati and you can study there. Because here, Mataji, culture is there, very much. So much culture is there, and
Yeah, yeah.
but in other places, almost like culture, very it's like less than here in like in Tirupati. It's in South India, so people actually even respect women.
Hmm. Your parents are in Baroda.
No, they are presently serving as teachers in Bhaktivedanta Gurukul and International School in Vrindavan, which is being
Oh,
under Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Yes, so
oh.
they are teachers there.
In
My
Vihe.
huh?
In Vihe, Vrindavan
No,
Institute of
not
High.
BA. BA is different. BA is just for Bhakti Shastri, IBX courses. But there is another Gurukul. In Gurukul,
Oh,
there are
yes.
400 boys, and it's an international school. So
Oh,
the students of like devotee parents mostly come, and they
okay.
admit their children there. And
That's
it's
the one, the Gurukul, which is in the campus only, that one, right?
yeah, in the campus, not in before it was in ISKCON Vrindavan campus itself, but
Yeah.
eventually due to some problems, they made it separate. So near like about 10 kilometers far from ISKCON Vrindavan, they have relocated
Oh,
to Gurukula, and they have
okay,
taken
okay.
80 acres of land.
Okay.
Yes. So,
What is that area called?
that area is called Ajhai village,
Okay,
and it is around 5 to 6, 7 kilometers around from Chattikara. Yes.
okay.
So it's from Chattikara only 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. ISKCON Vrindavan is there, and from there 5 kilometers there, then we can go to Gurukul.
Okay, okay.
We have relocated. And my
Yeah.
parents, we actually are from Gujarat only. We were staying in Gujarat. My
Ah,
father is a proper Gujarati, and we were staying in Gujarat before, and we were serving in Varnashram farm, like Varnashram. We were there in Varnashram farm community, which is there
oh,
in Gujarat under Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And
oh.
we were there until like for 6 years, 5 to 6 years we were there. Then after that,
Hmm.
uh, we
That
shifted.
is in where in Gujarat? Baroda?
No, in near Baroda only. There is near
Okay,
Baroda, not like 30 kilometers far from Baroda.
okay, okay.
Yes. And there is a Gurukula, and also there is farm community where 25 families live. Yes.
Wow. You are the only son, Prabhu?
No, I have a brother, and he is studying in 10th standard in BGIS only in Vrindavan, that same school.
Oh, the same school. Okay.
Yes.
That is called BJ's. What?
BGIS, BG,
BGIS. Okay, okay.
Bhaktivedanta
BGIS.
Gurukula and International School.
Okay, okay. So he's studying there. Very nice. Prabhu. Very
And
nice.
he is also planning to also come to Tirupati after his
Oh,
12th.
very good.
He
Your
also
parents are your parents are also fortunate. You are also very much. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Very nice talking to you. Hare Krishna.